So Subnautica was just a part of the play at home on PlayStation. It's on GamePass and it's coming to Switch on the 14th of May. So I thought to myself it would be a great idea to play this before the sequel releases, make a video, then buy the sequel. Well, let me tell you. I have a fear of the open ocean, specifically in games. Don't ask me why, but I could never and still struggle to play even Jolly Roger Bay from Mario 64. It's just so feckin' creepy. Well, I'm sure you're curious how Subnautica went, and I'll tell you, it didn't go very well. You've read the title by now, so Subnautica is the best game I'll never finish, and it's purely because of fear. This is the scariest game I have ever played. Like many of you out there, I don't do well with horror at all. I went to see it in the cinema and watched the whole thing through my fingers. There's two horror games that I've beaten before, and that's Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2 Remake, and that is because of how good they are, and the horror was slightly tolerable. Even though I had a crippling fear of zombies growing up, I couldn't even watch Thriller for God's sake. Now this video so far feels like a top 5 reasons why I'm a little bitch, but please stay watching because I have to gush about how good Subnautica is. Survival games in my book are usually terrible. The only exceptions are Terraria, Minecraft, and Valheim to a certain extent. Ark is awful, Rust is crap, and do not get me started on The Forest. Somehow this game charts at the PSN every month, and I've absolutely no reason why. When survival games click though, I get hooked, and that's exactly what happened with Subnautica. Swimming around the open biomes was an absolute treat. Figuring out what resources I need so I can go that small bit deeper was addictive, even if I had to wear brown trousers while I played. Seriously, the whole time my skin was crawling and I was stressed to bits, but I persevered. I collected copper, quartz, silver, all to upgrade my fins and oxygen tank, giving me more time to explore. Cautiously diving deeper and deeper to discover what creatures and resources awaited. When this was happening, I was so immersed. I genuinely forgot about the world around me, and for the 10 or so hours I played, I was immersed in Subnautica so much. Very few games do this to me, and even fewer survival games have achieved what Subnautica did. The gameplay loop had the perfect amount of back and forth, going just slightly further away from my pod. Every single thing I crafted was a double-edged sword though. Crafting the high-capacity oxygen tank, the sea glide and the sea moth had me conflicted. On one hand, the progression felt great, and my time felt well spent, but the dread soon set in. Now I have to go deeper and deeper, and I went until the oxygen tank that was my will to keep playing ran out, and I put the game down because I just shit myself. The gameplay was great, but the narrative was even stronger. Crash landing on an alien planet that is 90% water is a great premise that unknown worlds utilise to its full potential, creating interesting flora and fauna that had an insane amount of lore behind them. The story is delivered through radio messages that are drip fed to the player, pushing you further and further away from your pod until you realise that something is wrong. There are some strange alien structures showing signs of sentient life somewhere on the planet, and that is where I stopped. The atmosphere in Subnautica is second to none. It's so lonely that I had to, and I mean I had to listen to a podcast as I played. I never went out at night, instead I chose to hide in my pod until the sun came up. The beginning biomes are nice and very little can harm you, and they're bright with nothing that scared me too much. But moving out into the creepvine forests or the open plains terrified me. The open biomes are the scariest. It's grand when I could see the bottom, but when I was floating with nothing visible above or below me, my spine would tingle, and I'm not even exaggerating saying that. Even writing this script has me feeling uncomfortable, so in a way this is like a therapy session for me, so thanks for listening to my ramblings. Anyways, I haven't mentioned the two scariest things that I encountered. So firstly there are these warper alien feckers, and luckily I only encountered on land, but these things are creepy looking and they warp you around the place, and after a quick Google they can warp you out of your sea moth and throw you into the open ocean, and if this happened to me I would have quit the game, uninstalled and thrown my PS5 out the window. Luckily though, it didn't happen, but this was strike number 1 for Subnautica. Now strike number 2, and I think people who have played the game know what I'm talking about. It was this voice message.
Of Earth in class, life forms in the region. Are you certain whatever you're doing is worth it?
And I hate the term, but it made me nope the fuck out of this game. The second I heard the word Leviathan, my mind went into all sorts of places. What in God's name could this be? Well, I'll tell you one thing, I certainly didn't want to find out in game. So I took to Google, and I'm glad I did. If this feckin' thing attacked me in game, out in the open, with no escape, I would have absolutely shit myself. Now that's as far as I got. I was dreading playing it, but I still came back a few times just because of how good it is. Its atmosphere and mystery is second to none, and I wish I could experience the rest of the game because there is so much more that I haven't discovered. It's a shame, really. If you're not a little bitch like me, then go play this game, because it's absolutely phenomenal, but I just can't bring myself to play it. I've been watching videos about the late game just because I want to experience it in some way. Maybe someday I'll play the sequel, but I can guarantee it won't be anytime soon because all my trails are in the wash. I would love to know what you guys think of Subnautica. Have you beaten it, or was it too scary to even play, just like what happened to me? Thanks for watching, I really appreciate your time. I'm aiming for 1,000 subscribers by the end of May, so if you like the content, please subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video.